That'll be a solace to conservatives who might have worried that the president would wander afield from that list of 25. The president saying there he's going to stick with that list. He's also answering Hallie Jackson's question in the Oval Office about how quickly he wants to proceed. Now, this is sort of a politically loaded question. The president's saying he hasn't thought that much about it, but that he does want to move as quickly as possible. The reason that topic is politically loaded is because Democrats up on Capitol Hill are still smarting over Mitch McConnell's decision to slow walk Merrick Garland. You remember that was President Obama's selection to replace Justice Anthony Scalia, who died in office. The Republicans then controlled the Senate, did not hold the hearing, the confirmation hearing, and did not allow President Obama during the last year of his term to select a Supreme Court justice. That has huge ramifications. Democrats still extraordinarily frustrated about that. The president here now saying he'd like to move as quickly as possible. And while that was happening, we also got some word from Capitol Hill that Mitch McConnell, the Senate Republican leader, has said he'd like to have these hearings and vote on the president's nominee sometime this fall. That is presumably before the midterm elections, in which the Democrats have at least the chance of taking over the Senate and making life difficult for the president. So it looks like Republicans are going to push forward as quickly as they can to get this done. The president's going to pick off of his list that he's already got out there, and Republicans on the Hill are signaling they're going to move quickly for a confirmation vote. That might be frustrating to some Democrats, but Republicans are sure to make the case that this is just a midterm election and not a presidential election. So their argument against confirming a Supreme Court justice in a presidential election year would still hold, presumably.
You know the president was in a good mood, guys, because he was sitting with the president of Portugal and did not mention that Portugal has a trade deficit with this country. We buy a lot more from them than they buy from us. It's a $2.3 billion deficit, which we had.
We have a deficit with them, or they have a deficit with us.
We import $3.5 billion. We export $1.1 billion.
So we have a deficit
we buy a
with them.
lot more,
Right.
yes. And that's what usually President Trump goes after, Eamon. But he did mention tariffs. He said they're not backfiring. In fact, they're working quite well.
He said they're working quite well, and you pointed out exactly right. I mean, there's this witty banter there back and forth, particularly in a World Cup week. The president talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, the Portuguese soccer star, praising him and talking about his son, presumably his son Barron, playing soccer and loving soccer. His son plays on a soccer team for a local school here in the Washington area. So they're getting in some friendly banter and not a lot of the barbed or tense moments that we've seen between the president and other foreign leaders.
Yes. Despite the trade deficit, which the president always goes after.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.